Hey, what's up guys, Chris here, and Final Fantasy XIV is here in War of the Visions. In this video, I want to talk specifically about how you strategize around the stuff that came out around Final Fantasy XIV. I know that the vision cards didn't get a bingo board, and a lot of people are up in arms about that, but we need to talk about specifically, do you go for these vision cards? How do you go for them? With everything coming up next week with the 2-year anniversary, there's going to be a lot to break down, especially for free to play. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you strategize around these vision cards moving forward, especially if you're free to play. If you guys like the video, you know what to do. Let's get into this. All right, this week over here in the Summon tab, we have a bunch of new stuff for Final Fantasy XIV. We're going to get to that in a second. I do want to talk about Europa for a second. So one thing to notice is that this is only around for 6 days, and we're going to talk about that for Final Fantasy XIV in a second. But Europa is only around for 6 days. As I've said before in my planning guides, I think this is one of those cards where if you're playing Lightning main and you run kind of like the Ibarra Cloud Charlotte or Ibarra Renan Charlotte or a team something like that, this is a must pull. Otherwise, if you're not running that as like your primary team for free to play, you could probably just pass on this. But this card in Esper here, I'll go ahead and pull this up for the stats. It's magic attack up 35, agility up, this is another really great bonus, and then critical damage up. All three of these are fantastic bonuses. So if you are running Renan or Ibarra as a primary unit in your PvP team or in your top team, 100% do the step up right here to pick this card up. Okay, moving on to Final Fantasy XIV. I want to talk about these two cards that we have. Actually, there's 3 cards. So I'll talk about the easy one first. Bringers of Shadow. This card right here is attack up 50%, fire unit pierce attack resistance up 20, and then you have a unit bonus that gives you 30% magic. So this is, I think, supposed to be for ysh'tola. This is no. Whether you're free to play, I don't care who you are, collectors, even whales, I don't know why you'd pick up this card. Ifrit is also attack up 50%, just for comparison. It gives you, I think, fire attack up 10 here, and then it's ice resistance instead of pierce attack resistance. So a little bit different. This card, I think, gives you magic on the actual card. Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. This gives you magic on the actual card, and Ifrit gives you attack. So there's some slight differences, but I would just completely replace this card for Ifrit. So if you're running like a fire team, period, actually any team, Ifrit is basically a 1-for-1 replacement for this card. So nobody should be looking at trying to get Bringers of Shadow. So we'll just make that really simple. Now, Scions of Twilight, Scions of Shadow. We talked a little bit about these in the planning guide. I didn't talk a little bit about Scions of Shadow because I didn't know that this card was coming back. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this card. Basically, both of these cards right here, Scions of Twilight, Scions of Shadow, if you're going to be running a light main PvP team, or if you just, let me put it this way, if you're going to run a light slash team period, you could pretty much just pick up these 2 cards and already have a really strong team. This card is light attack up 35, dark attack resistance up 20. That's a huge bonus. Dark attack resistance up 10. This is one of the best vision cards in all of War of the Visions, if not the best vision card for light teams. It helps you in PvP because it helps you with that dark attack resistance. Light attack up is obviously a really good bonus. I think you have to get this card if you want to play light in any serious way in PvP. So I would think about picking this card up. And then there's also this new card, which we talked about in the planning guide, slash attack resistance piercing rate 35, max HP 13, and then magic attack resistance 20. 3 great bonuses on this card as well. They also added a bonus, I believe, that's light for Thancred. Yep, 20% up for Thancred. And then ysh'tola, which you're never going to use this card in ysh'tola. This is the Thancred bonus that they gave us, which makes Thancred actually a pretty solid unit. So my advice here would be this: if you're going to seriously consider playing light ever in the future as a PvP or a meta team, just pick up both of these cards. You're going to want both of these cards. These are 2 of the best cards, if not the 2 best cards for light slash. They are both limited, which means you're going to have to pick them up while these banners go. Now, the caveat to that is for free to play, this is around for 28 days. So one of the things I would do is probably just wait until next week or the week after, like wait 2, maybe even 3 weeks into the anniversary event, see what kind of deals that we get, see what kind of pulls you get maybe for other units if you're interested in other units. But if you're going to be playing light PvP meta, you're going to be getting these 2 cards. You're going to be looking at building up Lock and then probably picking up Violet. If you did nothing but grab these 2 vision cards, Scions of Shadow, Scions of Twilight, build up Lock as a free to play, and then pulled for Violet, you'd actually have a pretty strong PvP team with just those 2 units and then 1 more, like Thancred or something like that. Anyway, that's how I would approach this. I would wait. I would just be patient. There's no reason to pull for anything this week, period, unless you're pulling for Europa. That's the only thing I would be pulling on as free to play this week if you're actually going for that. All right, let's go over to the shop. There's a couple of different things this week that Final Fantasy XIV runs a little bit differently, so we'll talk about how that runs differently if you guys weren't around for the first few events. In the countdown shop, make sure you come in and pick up this stuff for guild. This is pretty obvious. Multi-raid restore every single day. 100 large energy pots for 1500 Visuor. I saw Diggs in his video. He said he thinks this is worth it. I do too. It kind of depends on your account and how serious you are. If you're casual, you probably have a ton of these. So like if I go over to my large energy pots, I mean, I still have 790. That doesn't mean I'm not buying this. It's just, it makes it a lot less attractive because I'm not really like short on these. My phone account, my casual account, which we've done videos about before, has like 1600 large energy pots. So this becomes a lot less attractive in that sense. So look at your amount of energy pots. This is probably a good deal. 15 per large energy pot, probably a pretty good deal. Make sure if you are going to get these vision cards, this shop again around 27 days. You don't have to be in any hurry to come in here to get the vision card shards in here or here. Moving over to the Mog Shop, this is where Final Fantasy XIV is a little bit different. Make sure you 100% come in here and you grab these Final Fantasy XIV summon tickets every single day. You're gonna have to do that every single day, which means farm the event enough during raid week here to pop some raids, get enough points here to pick up these tickets every single day. And the way that it's different is you actually go into the ticket summon tab. These aren't like on the actual main banners. They're a whole separate thing that just grab ysh'tola and Thancred shards. Oh, and while we're talking about it, ysh'tola. Yes, you're gonna get a ton of free shards for ysh'tola. Free to play, don't EX her. Just don't. I think personally she's not worth the blossoms. Unless you're one of these people who has like 50 or 60 blossoms in reserve, and I don't know many people that are like that. I would say ysh'tola is a no-go just because she's an MR unit. Maybe if you're like struggling to finish the last couple steps in the fire selection quest, you could EX her, but if you have shards for other units like Seymour, Lilith, Adelard, I think those are better units to EX, and everyone might be saying, but they give you all the Mind Spheres for ysh'tola. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying if you already have the choice between ysh'tola and some of these other units, I would choose those other units that I just mentioned. Anyway, the last thing I want to cover is if we head over to the far plane here, you're going to get a daily quest that's like a second anniversary thing. Make sure you come in and do this. You get 200 Visuor for doing it the first time. I don't know if you get that every single day, but it's good rewards anyway. Make sure you come in here and do this. And then they did add brutal difficulty for the Final Fantasy XIV quest. So this is what you can farm in order to pop raids this week, which, oh, by the way, it's raid week. But make sure you come in here, farm this to pop raids this week, or you can farm, I believe Diggs mentioned this as well, farm the book quests. I'm going to probably be farming this until I have enough of these medals to get that ticket every single day. Remember that shop's around for 28 days, so it's going to take a ton of medals to keep getting those summon tickets. Go ahead and do that. Last thing is the Chocobo Expedition, which we all know by now, but you can switch this to the Raktika Greatwood in order to pick up extra shards for ysh'tola and Thancred. We're, again, not interested too much about the ysh'tola shards. She's going to be easy enough to 120, but Thancred, definitely make sure you pick up as many shards as you can for Thancred. I think he'd be actually a pretty good unit, and also if you're going to play that light slash team with those 2 vision cards. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about this week. We're going to be doing a video where we go through all of the different banners since they're doing the rerun for all of the Final Fantasy stuff. We'll talk about what you should be going for as free to play, because we're all going to be limited on the amount of Visuor that we can spend. We'll go element by element and talk about all of the different collabs, the units you should be looking at, and the teams that you should be looking at building, because there's going to be so many different directions that you can take. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any questions about Final Fantasy XIV or what you're looking forward to in the next couple of weeks. We will catch you next time.